Welcome to the Virtual Pathfinder channel. This video is about the northwest region of the Moon. The atmospheric conditions were bad in my previous video, but this video is captured during better circumstances, with less turbulence, and the Moon was high in the sky. There will be a longer version of this video available on Patreon. If you're interested to dive deeper into this subject, consider becoming a member. There are benefits such as in-depth videos and podcasts and other exclusive materials. Before you decide, you can check out the previews on Patreon. Now let's have a look at the northwest region around Mare Imbrium, which means the Sea of Rains. As you can see in this video, the contours of the formations on the Moon are sharp and relatively detailed. The image is cropped and the smallest details are near the optical limit for this telescope, which is a Celestron C90 Maksutov Cassegrain telescope. For a 90mm telescope, the optical resolution limit is details of the size of about 3 kilometers on the surface of the Moon. How close one can get to that limit depends mainly on the atmospheric conditions, the elevation over the horizon, and to some extent the sensor of the camera. Mare Imbrium is the flat area at the center of the image, and the horseshoe-shaped formation in the northwest is Sinus Iridum, which means the Bay of Rainbows. It is a fairly long ridge with several craters on the plateau. The diameter is about 240 kilometers. Further north, on the edge of the Moon, there are several small craters leading to a larger crater, which is J. Herschel, and from that crater there is a valley leading to the crater Anaximander D, which in this video lies in darkness of shade at the rim of the Moon. The North Pole is located further to the east and is hard to see from Earth due to the steep angle. Let's have a look at the lunar missions in this region. The Apollo landing sites for the crewed missions about 50 years ago were all quite close to the equator, and the closest to the Mare Imbrium was Apollo 15 in 1971. The landing site was Hadley Rill in the northern part of the mountain range Montes Apenninus. That location is on the eastern side of Mare Imbrium. Interestingly, the missions to the northwest region so far are 3 missions by the Soviet Union and China. One can say that the west on the Moon corresponds to the east on Earth. The most recent was a Chinese mission to Oceanus Procellarum at a location slightly to the west of the Bay of Rainbows in the northwestern corner of the Moon. That mission was launched at the end of year 2020. It successfully brought back soil samples from the Moon. It was part of the Chinese space program, which has the long-term goal to establish a base near the South Pole. As I've mentioned in previous videos, there are a number of players interested in the South Pole region. The US Artemis program is also aiming at establishment of a lunar base near the South Pole. The reason for the widespread interest in that area is indications of huge amounts of frozen water at the bottom of craters, which are in perpetual shade. The ice can be melted to water, which can be used either for plants and humans in a lunar base or broken down to be used as rocket fuel. There is much to say about that development, but I will not go into that in this video. Compared to the South Pole, the northwest region is very different, with a more smooth area of Mare Imbrium. The flat surface has been formed by lava flows from meteorite impacts that have pierced the crust during the formation of the Moon. The lava flow has filled much of the uneven ground and created the smooth areas that looks like a sea. The lava soil samples from the Chinese mission Chang'e 5 has found that there is a small amount of water in the ground samples obtained. As I mentioned at the beginning, I will go into more detail about the missions to the northwest in a longer video on Patreon. There I will also say some about one of my favorite astronomers from the 19th century. If you haven't subscribed to this YouTube channel, remember to do so, and I will see you in the next video. Have a nice week.